Happy Friday.
Yes. Welcome to the Food Code, everyone. We're trying to make our Friday fires a little bit more succinct. I always struggle saying that word, succinct.
Shorter.
I felt like succinct was a better description. To the point. That's basically what we're trying to say. Is to the point. We go a little bit on tangents sometimes.
We do.
We go down holes.
More so me, I think. Well, last couple of days ago, you went on a tangent, and you're like, "I'm totally going on a tangent right now."
Oh yeah, I don't even remember what that. I feel like I am losing my mind some days lately.
Becca was like, "If I'm being mean, will you tell me? Because my hormones are getting to me." And I was like, "Okay, I don't think you've been mean, but I'll tell you." Okay, we're going to talk today about the fact that we can't convince everyone.
No,
we can't convince everyone to believe what we say about the fact that you need to eat more and 1,200 calories isn't enough.
No,
because there's different camps out there. And so the sheer fact of this podcast is this is also going to be for you, that you need to understand that sometimes we can't even convince you to do things with all of the knowledge and all of the education.
Totally.
You have to decide for yourself. That
this is like, no one is coming to save you guys. We just got to be blunt here. Like this is a fiery Friday fire. Mm-hmm. I will say motivation is not going to slap you in the face. And to be honest, people who rely on motivation to transform usually never transform. They don't sustain results ever. And so this is who we're talking to. If you have been saying to yourself for the past, months, if not years or decades, that you're going to lose weight or you're going to start eating healthier, or you're going to stop drinking as much on the weekends, and you haven't done it, this is for you. Like, you are continuing to rationalize. You are continuing to not align your actions. You are continuing to keep yourself in this cycle of doing things that aren't serving your goals. We need to reevaluate. Mm-hmm. Like, we need to really decide. No one is going to say anything to you probably at this point, because to be honest, you are probably also the person that has consumed all of the stuff. You've consumed all of the meal plan. You've bought the $19.99 plan. You've done the Instagram workout plan. You've gone to the shows and read the stuff. Like, you are the person that consumes all the information, but you never use it.
I think a lot of people do this because they're searching for the right program.
Yes.
But yet they're cherry picking things out of each program and trying to make their own mashup of things, when in reality, like, you just need to start doing something and be consistent with it.
Stick with it. Because
you can go to all the conferences, you can read all the books, right? You can listen to all the podcasts, you can buy all of the programs, but if you don't put them to use, your knowledge that you have attained is powerless, mm-hmm. right? Knowledge without action is useless, essentially. And so what I would challenge you with is to take a step back and kind of evaluate, like, how long have I been saying that I'm going to make changes? What is standing in my way of making these changes? Because it's likely the person that you see on the other side of the mirror. And I know that sounds harsh. I've had that harsh reality check myself. Mm-hmm. When I was over 200 pounds, I was like, this is no one else's fault but mine. I created this situation because I chose to go to Starbucks and get a sugary frappuccino and a breakfast sandwich every morning on my way to work. I chose to go out, and do happy hour with my coworkers instead of following through with my commitments of going to the gym for too long. And then I finally got to a place where I was sick of what I saw. I was not happy. I was not healthy. I was tired. I didn't like what I saw in the mirror, and I was wearing these baggy back clothes, and I was like, I know I'm made for more. I know my life is meant to be greater than this. If this is what adulthood is, I don't like this. And so I had to recreate and reshape my entire life. Like, I don't hang out with those people anymore. Like, I lost a lot of friends when I started going to the gym and not going out to happy hours. When I started changing, circles of people that I hung out with, because I wanted to be around positive, like-minded people that wanted to be productive and do things on Saturday morning instead of laying in bed and being hungover. And so it's tough. But at the end of the day, you are the only one that's standing in your way. And like Becca said, we can't say anything to convince people to change if they don't want to change. We can give you all the right information, right? We can give you the education. We can give you the whys behind why you need to do something, but you have to desire that change for yourself. We can't convince you to change. Mm-hmm. And so this is a hard message. And we're going to keep sharing over and over, right? We're going to keep sharing the education and the knowledge and the things that matter in terms of your longevity of living a healthy life, because we know there's a lot of different camps out there. You can consume a lot of different content, and you can find content that aligns with rationalizing why maybe you stay stuck, but you're here and you're listening to this podcast for a reason. And I guarantee you it's because you want to be better. You want more for yourself. And so we need to start taking action and start understanding, what is this change that you desire and what does it really mean to you?
Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing is, like, take this too, like, you can't convince anyone else either. Like, if you are on this journey and you have a friend or you have a family member that you think should be making changes too, like, don't even try, guys. We have this conversation with, and I shouldn't say don't even try, that sounds really mean, but like, we have this conversation with people all the time. People will not change unless they are ready to make a change. And the more that we tend to push people, the further we push them away. And this goes for the people that are struggling to make the change too. Like, you have to decide that you're ready to make a change. And if you have been trying to consume all the information and it hasn't been working, then maybe the changes you're trying to make are not what are in line with what you really want. But if that's the case, then we have to stop being unhappy in this, limbo. Is what I think about a lot of times is that the people that are unhappy are people that are not doing things that align with what they say they want. And they're stuck in this place. When in reality, if we just aligned, like, okay, you don't want to give up drinking on the weekends. You don't want to limit how much you go out to eat. You don't want to do these things. Okay, then you have to find a way to be happy with where your body's at right now and the fact that it's maybe not as healthy as you want it to, or you think it should be, or you don't look a certain way, or you're not going to lose weight. Like, you have to align those things. And when those things can get aligned, people can be happy. That is why it seems like a lot of people, maybe who don't look a certain way are plenty happy because they've been aligned with what they're doing and what it's creating for their life. And then in other words, like, people that, are sacrificing a lot and working for things that they want, okay, you should be happy too because you're working towards the goals that you have for your body and for yourself. And so here's the thing. You are always, like I was saying, you are always going to find these camps of people that believe that they are the right ones. Like, you get, what I think about is there's a lot of like anti-diet culture camps. And I would say that we're relatively anti-diet culture. Like, I don't love that it has to be done a certain way or you have to follow that. Like, I think that there's a different program that is proper for everyone, which is why we work with our clients so individualized. Every single one of our clients does something different. So I don't fully disagree with diet culture because I think that yes, you need to probably be on some type of a plan and program, quote unquote diet, whatever you want to define that as, to see progress a lot of times. But there's these people that say, like, you should never diet, you should never cut calories, you should listen to your body and eat whatever you want and, have balance 24/7, like restricting yourself is bad. I don't know if I fully agree with that, but that's definitely a camp that's out there. And then you have the hardcore camp that's like, I don't even I love Andy Frisella, so I don't even want to call out 75 hard, but like, that's kind of what I think about is like, for them, they have found that lifestyle is what they enjoy. That hardcore, like, you are committing to yourself. You're giving these things up kind of for life. You're working on that mental discipline. You're working on those things, the bodybuilder camp too. I think a lot of times, like, that's kind of that hardcore, like, you don't have off days type situation. Yeah. There's that, camp out there. And then there's the embrace your body as it is, right? The love your body at every size, which yes, I agree with, but I also think that two things should always be in place. You need to be happy, but you need to be healthy.
Yes.
And I cannot get on board with the body positivity movement when there's definitive health issues that are likely going on with someone that is 300 plus pounds.
Yep.
And so I struggle with each of these because, they're very extreme. All of them are extremes. They cut out all of these things. And so what you have to figure out is what is right for you. Maybe you fit into one of these camps and you can be happy and healthy there, but like, you have to figure that out and you have to decide that versus fitting yourself into, a specific bucket, or you have to do these things a certain way. And if you don't, then you can't. Like, you need to decide internally what you need to do with your life to make change. And I think, as sad as it sounds, a lot of people don't figure this out until they hit like some type of a rock bottom.
Mm-hmm. A diagnosis.
Yep.
A place where they're just totally miserable.
Where it becomes real, somewhat.
Yeah. It's like a slap in the face.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And our goal is to help people not get to that place,
Yes.
right? Because they listen and they understand that, you know what, if I just started showing up every day and doing some like very simple habits, I could change. I could be healthy. I could get to my goal. Yeah, it might take you a year rather than 2 months, but guess what? 2 years from now, you're sustaining things. 5 years from now, you're sustaining things because you chose to do it the way that was right for you and not try to be this hard ass and go hard for 75 days or however many days it is. I don't want to pick on that because I do like the 75 hard challenge in some ways, but 60 days, whatever, these challenges that are out there. And then you flip the switch. Like we talk about this all the time because we have clients that come to us and they've done 12-week challenge, 5-week challenge, you know, every diet out there,
all these different things,
Noom, Weight Watchers, all these things. And what we ask them is like, well, what did you learn from that program? And majority of them are like, I mean, yeah, I know water is important, but like I didn't really ever follow through consistently to get to a place where it was a habit that was just there, you know, that I didn't even have to think about. Like,
I understood that I should eat this amount of my food, this amount of food and this balance. And there's never really a bigger understanding of food in general and how it affects their body after programs like that.
Right. Because they're probably being told you can't have carrots because there's too much sugar. You can't have bananas because there's too much sugar. You should only eat 4 ounces of protein and you should only eat chicken tenders or chicken breasts. You can't have the chicken thighs because there's too much fat. You know, it's just like all these ridiculous things out there. And we want to help people get to a place where you can just be fucking consistent and you can be happy doing these things. But we can't convince you to change and do these things if you don't desire that change. Like I can't convince you not to reach for the cookie when it's staring you at the face. I can't convince you, you know, not to go out drinking with your friends when you're like, well, I'm not seeing progress because I've only done this for 4 days in a row and nothing has changed. So I might as well go out and drink.
How often do we hear that?
So true. It's like, this is one thing that I've said, and I think I said this recently on the Sober Bodybuilder podcast, Key Nutrition. I was talking about the fact that like, on my healing journey, I had to wrap my head around the fact that it wasn't going to be 3 months. It was going to be a year because I had all these years behind me of eating like an asshole, drinking too much in college, running myself into the ground with 2 workouts a day for a period of time. Like I didn't treat my body well. How can I expect my body to treat me well and just all of a sudden change everything and heal in 2 weeks? It doesn't work that way. Like you're battling years and years of poor food choices, inflammation, just poor lifestyle habits, like not moving, being sedentary, just all of these things that we battle. So what I want to challenge everybody out there with is dig deep and understand if you keep saying that you want to change, evaluate why you want to change. What does it mean to you to get to that place like your future self, right? What is that person that you want to become? Who is she? Who is he? Because here's the thing, there's something known as time inconsistency. And this refers to the tendency of your brain to value the immediate rewards, instant gratification, more highly than your future rewards. And so this is why so many people, when they're faced with temptation, they focus on making a decision in that moment in time, thinking about their present self, right? They don't think about the decision in a way that aligns with their future goals and their future self because they're not connected to their why. They don't know why they really want to change. So when the time comes to make that decision that aligns with your goals, it's going to be imperative that you have that emotional connection to your desire to change and you know why you want to change. And that is how you will start to value that future self more than the present instant gratification.
Yeah. And that's why I think for a lot of people, hiring someone, if you've been struggling with this for months or years, can be so helpful because they can help you strategize that. They can help you figure out and dig deep to like why you keep self-sabotaging, why you keep saying that you're going to do things and you don't do them. Like they can help dig deep because they've worked with people around that before. And that's, I think, one of the biggest benefits with coaching is getting past the mental barriers that we have for ourselves from years and years of reiteration of habits. Like talking to our clients about, okay, you have this weekend where you have, 2 dinners out with friends. Normally you'd go and drink at both of them and you'd eat, whatever you want or whatever that looks like once you have the alcohol in your system or whatever. With our clients, we strategically talk about those moments of, okay, maybe we don't drink at one of these and, we order this because this is how it's going to align with your goals. And we explain the whys behind it. And I think that for a lot of people, having the reassurance in the back of their mind and then the accountability to follow through with it is so powerful powerful to continue to help them change habits, because at the end of the day, guys, these are all learned behaviors. Like the things that you are doing, the things that you're telling yourself, the routines that you have are all implemented time and time again, and they're kind of set in stone. And you have to break that stone. And it's hard to do that on your own because you're the one that kind of created them. And so having that outside help is so powerful. And to be honest, otherwise, like every time we do this, every time, we give in to our justifications, every time we tell ourselves it's okay, like you essentially continue to tell yourself that you're the type of person that doesn't do hard things. And then we never change and we always stay in the same place. So if you're really struggling with this, I always say hire out. Yeah. Hire help, because at the end of the day, you are realizing that it's too big of a battle right now for you to take on, and you need the help, and there's nothing wrong with that. But we can't convince you. You can listen to all the podcasts, all the self-help books, you can consume all the information, but if you're still stuck, find someone to help you and decide what you truly want and if what you're doing is making you happy. And if it is, do you be happy as long as you're healthy. But if it isn't, then you have to decide now is the time that I have to make a change.